I'm singing the song. I'm learning the letters. I threw away my ribbons. I'm doing it. So Mollie's whole trope throughout this is her connection to her ribbons, obviously, and her kind of disconnection from her animalisticness. And I feel like this is a clear moment where she's showing Clover specifically, but everyone on the farm, just how much she's really performing to conform. And even though she's a prize pony and she's used to performing her beauty, this is the real moment where she's performing her authenticity within the tribe. It feels like she's trying her best to intellectualize and to learn the letters and learn the alphabet and all these things. She's singing the song they sing. She's doing work which she's never done before. She's gorgeous and she's a prize pony, and that's the work that she does. And I think it's just at this last tether of just being scrutinized and just being ridiculed and ostracized and all these things, and having given up the ribbons is just the final straw for her. So the ribbons for Mollie represent her individuality. At the same time, it represents her shackles and her conformity to the human way of living. But for her, they're just like Old Major's medals. They represent everything that's valued in her. She doesn't put human labor, animal labor, I should say. She doesn't do any animal labor on the farm. What she does is she goes out, she dresses well, she keeps herself kept, and she wins the money for the farm. And it's that that devaluation rather, from the other animals against her that we see whittled down as the farm starts to break down. And I think from the beginning, the ribbons were just something that were just gorgeous and beautiful and were just on her. And then it starts to become almost weaponized, and then it starts to become taken away from her. And then I think we start to see her vulnerability, from her individuality, from her identity. So as I mentioned before, Mollie doesn't work. And I think that definitely does create a gap in the relationship between many of the other animals on the farm, other horses or donkeys or such. Especially regarding the pigs. I feel like we were having this conversation about how much would Mollie really talk to these other people if she's not doing all of the animal labor, if she's quite kept to herself, quite isolated, if she's treated the best out of everyone, given sugar cubes here and there, made sure that she's kept the best. So I think from the beginning of the play, there's definitely this gap. And I don't think it's a gap that was necessarily created by choice, but just a physical gap because they just have different lives on the farm. And then as we start to explore the different themes and the different events that happen in the play, we really start to see that the gap is bigger. The gap is almost innate in a sense, and it comes from Mollie's disconnection to what animalism is, disconnection to what work is on the farm, and also I guess just a species to species disconnect, which all of the animals realize they have under this dogmatic dictatorship. They realize that they're just working 9 to 5 to stay alive, and in that comes the mind control and I guess the brainwashing and the kind of neglecting of social interaction between different people. And it rings true to today, doesn't it, really? So my favorite thing about Mollie, apart from the fact that she is just beautiful and is not afraid to perform her beauty, I feel like the other animals perform their purpose. They perform their strength or they perform their intellect, and she's just not afraid to just perform her beauty, and that's more than enough. But aside from that, she's strong, and she's strong in her mind and strong in her mouth. If she has an opinion, it's going to filter through. Whereas I feel like a lot of the other animals and characters on the farm maybe have opinions or wait to make their opinions up or wait till an event happens and then someone says something and then someone else agrees and then they agree. Whereas Mollie's like, no, why would I give up my ribbons? No, why would I do this? No, you're wrong about the farmer. You're completely crazy. She's not afraid to go against everyone else and stay kind of true to herself. And whether the trueness of herself is right or wrong is a different situation. But someone who stays true to their core beliefs, especially throughout the whole of the farm, and then has the might to say, you know what, this is not for me. I'm going to leave. Can't hate her, can I? A line from the script that stuck with me is when she's talking to Clover. And Clover's another horse on the farm, and Clover has found that you didn't dispose of your ribbons, actually. And she's confronting her about having spoken to all these different humans, Mr. Pilkington on the farm next door. And she says, listen, the humans they're very smart. And Mollie turns around and says, oh, and I'm thick as pig's swill, aren't I? And it's just my favorite line. I think it's going to have to filter through to my everyday life.